The easiest way I can describe peace of mind is having a problem and a company coming in and solving that pretty simply. Our platform, again, focuses on creating that roadmap, providing the solutions at every step, at the same time making sure that you're resourced at every level as you grow in your business.
Ambition is everywhere, but the founders who actually build a legacy are those who move beyond surface level motivation and invest in the systems that provide true peace of mind.
Identify what your values are, finding what your passions are, what you really believe in, and again, products and ideas will come to you and you'll be undefeatable against AI.
Hello, everyone. This is Kripa Anand, and welcome to the Black Business Podcast, powered by CanadianSME. This is a national platform dedicated to celebrating excellence, empowering legacy, and elevating Black entrepreneurship across Canada. Today, we are going to explore how structure and long term vision are the true drivers of entrepreneurial success. In 2026, ambition is everywhere. But the founders who actually build a legacy are those who move beyond surface level motivation and invest in the systems that provide true peace of mind. Joining us today is Salem Njejimana, CEO of TranQuility Inc. Salim is a visionary Canadian founder and the creator of Incubator, an AI powered platform designed to guide entrepreneurs from initial concept to a scalable company. With a focus on institution building and global impact, Salem is redefining what it means to lead with clarity and ownership. So, before further ado, let's dive in. Salem, welcome to the podcast. Such a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you for having me.
Now, Salem, the name of your company, TranQuility, suggests a very specific focus on the mental state of the leader.
Correct.
So, what exactly does peace of mind mean in business leadership, and why is it central to your solutions?
Yeah, great question. I think the most important part of providing peace of mind solutions to customers is understanding that we care for them. We're providing the solution to solve a problem that they're facing. Entrepreneurship in business is about seeing a problem, capturing that, and finding a creative solution to support customers that need that. So I think peace of mind encompasses exactly what our focus is here at Tranquility.
Wow. So, in one sentence, or if in one word you had to explain what is peace of mind for Salem Njejimana, what would you say?
I think the easiest way I can describe peace of mind is, having a problem and a company coming in and solving that pretty simply.
Filling in that gap.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Without really questioning,
Yeah.
is that solution the right one for me? So it's, again, peace of mind solutions.
Got it. It's a powerful perspective that true leadership isn't about chaos, but about creating that calm environment necessary for strategic growth. Now, Salim, let's explore how a structured execution engine helps founders move from an idea in their mind to a scalable company. How exactly does Incubator turn ideas into clear execution maps without that startup noise?
Yeah, absolutely. Starting a business is so complex, right? There's so many different avenues and ways that you can go about it. But our platform simplifies that, provides you a roadmap that you can follow.
Mhm.
We hear it a lot from, public and other people that have done other things or are away in building a business, and they understand that a platform like Incubator puts that all in front of you for you to follow,
Yeah.
provides you the resources, the advancement in AI, really makes a lot of that heavy lifting simple for users and people in general. So our platform, again, focuses on creating that roadmap, providing the solutions at every step, at the same time making sure that you're resourced at every level as you grow in your business. So in the name, you see it called Incubator for a reason. We focus on that incubation process.
Yeah.
So again, providing that roadmap for them to follow, giving them the resources and tools they need at every step, just eliminates even just the chaos of wondering what to do next, and essentially the rest can follow itself.
Wow. I think providing a real execution task list, turns the dream into a disciplined system that can be measured and scaled. You did not have this app with you while you were creating this own business, right? So it's funny. So whom did you go to for that advice that right now you're giving to people through this app?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. And I think that's a great way to start a business is seeing how are you wish you had something and you create that product for, for that person in the world. But
Uh-huh.
how I used to get that support, it's really independent research, a lot of self
R&D.
education, exactly,
Yeah.
R&D and DIY education, right?
Mhm.
Do it yourself education. So I think seeing how hard that was and seeing how entrepreneurship is growing so fast, I don't think it's a scalable or efficient way
Yeah.
of building a business or learning. So that's why we created Incubator.
Very interesting. Now, Salim, let's talk a little about your personal life.
Sure.
Is business something that always, came to you naturally, or is it something that, you tumbled upon in your life?
I definitely tumbled upon it. My mother would probably say otherwise. She would say that I was always entrepreneurial in some way.
Uh-huh.
But no, I think entrepreneurship was definitely something I ultimately got into just seeing the need of others, like seeing, hey,
Yeah.
a friend of mine wanted to start a music business, another friend of mine wanted to start a fashion business, and I was maybe not that person to support them in really creating clothes or music, but I saw, hey, I can support you in making this a real business, right? And seeing myself and how valuable I was to others, I saw, hey, what if there was a millions of Salems, right? And
Yeah.
that's where Incubator came in, and again, we developed that product to really follow what the trend is going into, and creating a product to solve that gap.
Love it. I'm so glad that you started this because right now this is the need of the market, right? Let's now discuss the opportunities and gaps within Canada's startup ecosystem as you scale globally. So, what gaps exist in Canada's ecosystem, Salem, according to your, extensive experience, and what exactly does it take to build globally from here? And also, please talk about the mindset that one requires to get into that flow of working.
Yeah, I think it starts with the ecosystem. Canada is so much talent. There's an abundance of, individuals that are very talented and have the drive to start a business, but I don't think there's an ecosystem that supports them.
Yeah.
What do I mean by ecosystem? It's, for example, events that they can attend or different co-working spaces are readily available. Same way in the San Francisco, they make it readily available and motivate and push you to create something great. And I think Canada, we also have a risk averse mindset. We have to be willing to risk and
Mm.
putting everything on the line, even if you fail. There's so much that you learn. It took me about 4 or 5 years to start this business, so it didn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
I wish I was that success story that I built the company and it grew overnight, but that's just not the case.
Yeah.
And I think that's consistent with any story I've heard personally in our own research with working with startups. So I think that starts there, and the mindset I think goes back to my point of being risk averse, being open to failure, being open to trying new things. Um, and from there, I think once the government and those in power that can create those ecosystems, they'll see that there's a drive and there's a motivation and people are trying, and I think they'll definitely spur some growth in Canada for sure.
Wow, I think solving the domestic structure gap is clearly the first step towards positioning Canadian innovation as a global standard for excellence. To the builders watching, in 2026, being scrappy is no longer a badge of honor if it means you are disorganized. Ambition without structure is just a hobby. If you want to build something that outlives you, you have to stop focusing on the hype and start building the infrastructure of your legacy. Use the tools available to you to gain clarity because in this economy, the most valuable asset you own is your peace of mind. Now, Kirim, let's examine your focus on building lasting institutions rather than, short term startups. How do you design a company to outlive its founder, and why is that so rare to find in tech?
Great point. I think the first thing starts with creating a 5 to 10 year plan. The first thing I did building this company, I already knew what we're going to launch, 20 years from now. Marco could tell you, our CMO, he could tell you that our whole strategy and marketing and operations has been founded upon what are we going to do 5, 10 years from now, even if we don't make it or we don't think like that, but that's kind of what we put in place. this is what, we want to put in place as far as a goal for the company. So I think starting from day one, creating a 5 to 10 year plan, what is the product after the product that you've launched to get into market? And the reason I believe tech companies don't think that far is one, investors want to make sure that you're thinking focusedly. They don't want to invest in things that are not there. They want to know, what are you doing in the next 2 to 3 years?
Yeah.
So business owners or entrepreneurs tend to create their plan around,
The
that.
short term, 3 to 4 years max.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And again, it goes back to my point of identifying a problem that you really truly believe in. I know it's kind of cliche, everyone says that, but if you think in that term and you actually believe in the product you're creating, ideas kind of come to you naturally, in creating that next product and that next vision of 5 to 10 years, rather than, being forced to creating an idea, or, hey, investors want to know what the next 5, 10 years growth plan is, but you believe in the product, you believe in the customers you're providing the solution for.
Yeah.
um yeah, it tends to come to you fairly easily.
Wow, that's a great perspective, because shifting from short-term exit to thinking to, long-term legacy is what separates a fleeting brand from a lasting institution. So great point there. Now, let's talk about what's next for Incubator. So I hear there's a version 2.0 that's coming up, right? So what can people expect from this version, and how exactly is it different from the one already existing out there?
Yeah, through our thorough analysis during launching V1, early users have been giving us great feedback. So we're seeing there's some areas that we want to improve on as far as the AI logic. Again, our platform is AI native, meaning that our platform is essentially powered by AI and doing a lot of the work for our users. So we will make that a lot faster, a lot more logical. So making it smarter, being able to support people at no matter where you're at in your stage. So even improving that profile, that process,
Mhm.
improving the UI, so the end user interface that users are interacting with.
Right.
Want to make it
That's
more.
the first point of base that consumer, gets in touch with your product. So
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. So exactly, you got it on the nail. So user interface is all what the user interacts with. So we want to make that a lot cleaner. Kind of following that model of what Steve Jobs, made him popular, is the user interface. How do you interact with his product? So that's one thing we want to improve. Making it a lot more smarter. So users, when they go through that process building their business, the AI knows them from, as simple as, the idea that you're building all the way to now you being able to launch the business. So we want the AI to grow with you,
Yeah.
creating a profile for you similar to ChatGPT or Claude, but ours is, again, focused on your business. And the last thing you would see is definitely more features. We want to launch a project management tool as well. So then really creates a robust platform. We really want to become the operating system for founders. So just to keep it short, you'll definitely see a lot more features around that focus of creating really a robust platform founders can depend on.
Wow, definitely looking forward to that. Integrating intelligent support tools directly into the workflow ensures that founders stay on track with their strategic priorities every day. That's great. I'm loving this conversation, Salim, and definitely we're going to invite you one more time where we can dive into such deeper conversations. But for now, before we let you go, if there's one piece of final advice that you have for our listeners today, something that you want them to remember, especially when they're feeling overwhelmed and chaotic because of so much going around, specifically with AI,
Right.
what would you tell them to calm them down?
Yeah, I would say AI's, doesn't have a brain of itself. It's, you have a brain, you have an ability to pivot and finding what, your value add to the community or to the world. AI can only do so much unless, those companies see an area. So the last thing I would say is just, identify what your values are. Again, it's cliche to say, but finding what your passions are, what you really believe in, and
Yeah.
again, products and ideas will come to you, and you'll be undefeatable against AI. So being unique,
Yeah.
being personal to your situation, your value that you can bring to community can definitely make you definitely over the edge for sure.
Lovely. That's such a powerful and actionable advice, I'd say. All right, Talib, it was such a pleasure having you on the podcast. Thank you so much for being here and doing this.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
That was Salim from TranQuility Inc., a vital look at why the future of entrepreneurship belongs to those who build with peace of mind and long term systems in place. To all of our listeners, thank you so much for being a part of Black Business Podcast, specifically Black and Brilliant series powered by Canadian SME. Your support helps advance visibility, equity, and opportunity for Black entrepreneurs across Canada. Stay connected, stay inspired, and continue building legacy in motion. Kripa Anand signing off.